Hello everyone, this is Bloodpet for another Blue-White Familiars video. I would like to share with you guys a recording of the recent Pauper Challenge I played in this Sunday, the 7th of October. But first let me go briefly through the deck. So we are playing a slightly different version. I mean, the main deck stays the same old cards from the last version, except the Dimir Aqueducts have been replaced by Boilerworks, and a Swarm has been replaced by a Mountain. That is for our new sideboard deck, which is 3 Pyroblasts. So if you've been watching my recent videos, you will know that I have been messing with Mesmeric Fiends in my sideboard quite a bit, and even though I think the Fiend is still a pretty strong card, especially to counter what Tron is doing with their Capsizes and Dinruva Horrors, I figured that I would like to try something else which also plays around Tron's most potent threats quite nicely, and it's a little more versatile. You can bring in the cards in various other matchups as well and have it be pretty good. So I thought, let's give this a try. Also, I replaced one Aven Rift Watcher for a 3rd Hydroblast, figuring that since we have the Pyros, we can cut one anti-Delver card and we can add this Hydro, especially good against Blitz, and also the combo version of Affinity, but obviously also great against any kind of red deck. Other than that, it's still the same old deck we are familiar with, so let's jump right into the challenge. Here we are for round 1, game 1 of the challenge, with a pretty nice hand. We've got our land drops and preordain to cover the early setup. We got a Faithful against any aggressive decks. We got Analyses to play in a grindy matchup. We've got an Arrows, which is perfect if they are on Tribe or Delver. So I think this hand should be excellent in 90% of the matchups there are. So let's see. We're definitely starting off with the Evolving Wilds on the play because we want to get more information about what the opponent is doing before we fire off the preordain. Okay, and looks like we are up against Goblins or Red Gwins, which should be a favorable matchup, and I think our hand has the right tools to beat it. There goes our Faithful life gain and preordain into a bounce land. Perfect. We're gonna keep that and ship the other land away. We don't wanna get flooded too much. Opponent looks to be on one of the more aggressive starts with Burning Tree Emissary turn 2 and also Mork Flunkies, which is a pretty cool card, one of my favorites, even though the card frame the opponent chooses is just unacceptable. We're able to cover the damage here, play more preordains, and wow, nice, we get a fam, so let's play that. I mean, the wall body is pretty relevant here. So we're able to stop most of the damage, only taking 2. And wow, there's a Stonehorn. So we've got that for next turns. I mean, first let's draw some more cards. And let's see. So if the opponent has like Goblin Bushwhacker, which could take a lot of damage, and the fam is dead, so we'll still be taking 10, which is not nothing. Okay, so here I got 2 options. I could either play it safe and play the Dignitary, or I could Seagate and try to find like another Faithful or Fam, or at least a blue cantrip to gain myself more life. So I'm gonna go with the more risky line and fire off the Seagate, which in retrospect maybe was not correct. It's possible that I should have gone for the Stonehorn there instead. But looks like I'm gonna get away with that because I draw the perfect card top of that, which is the Fam. I mean, my reasoning is that the opponent's gone to one land by that pyroblast, so their options on this turn are limited. Like, the best they can do is probably play a 1-drop so that they are able to attack with their cohorts and conscripts. But that way we'll still be only taking 6 damage. I mean, it would have been 8 if we did not hit the Fam off of the Seagate. So yeah, maybe I took an unnecessarily risky line that last turn. But looks like it's gonna work out well, and now that I got the Stonehorn and Flicker lined up for my next turns, I cannot imagine a scenario where I lose from here. So I'm gonna hold up the Flicker for opponent's turn should he try to kill my creatures, and wow, perfect. We are able to counter this Reckless Abandon with the Ghostly Flicker, and that's just game. But going back to that one questionable turn where I played Seagate, had I not hit the Fam off of that, I would have been at 2 less life, so the Abandon could have killed me here. I think it's important to notice your mistakes and learn from them, so it's definitely one thing I could have done differently. And now the game is officially over as we start drawing our cards. The opponent will be skipping their next combat step. We have a Flicker in case they try to kill any of our creatures. And from next turn on we'll just run away with our life total. And looks like we can even go infinite with the wall, but opponent is not up to go through all that. So, sideboarding against red deck wins. We brought in the 2 Aven Rift Watchers, blocks their creatures perfectly as a 2/3 and gains us life. 3 Hydroblast, obviously insane against any mono red deck. And we added 2 extra Stonehorn Dignitaries. I decided to leave 1 in the sideboard since I probably don't need the full package here. And I took out the Snow-Covered Mountain. I mean, the mountain is only in the main deck because it did not fit into the sideboard 15 card slots. So on the draw we can definitely take it out. We cut the 1 of Arrows since it's a little too slow and most of their creatures have 2 toughness. 2 Deep Analyses, since in these kind of aggressive matchups we can trim on card draw and the flashback paying life costs hurts more than usual. We cut the Negate. Obviously there's no need for Sage Row Denizen in such matchup. We're just planning to beat down with creatures once we stabilize. I did cut a Muldrifter, which maybe I should have cut a 3rd Deep Analysis instead, but it's a close call. So here we are on the draw. Our hand looks pretty nice. I mean, we got a Hydroblast, which is nice to counter their early plays. That's actually what I'm gonna go for instead of fetching a Plains to play Sunscape on turn 2. Because I don't think the Sunscape will survive, whereas here we can counter their 2-drop and make sure that we're only taking 2 to like mitigate the most aggressive start they could have. We're taking 4 here, and oh nice, so let's play the sea gate, because I do not anticipate my first creature to survive. Therefore I might as well get some value off of it, rather than just running the fam out and having it die. And yeah, looks to be the case. We'll be taking 4 more damage. But now we are kind of stabilizing, as we are able to play the fam and hold up a hydroblast in case the opponent plays anything too unpleasant. Oh yeah, that's definitely getting countered. We'll still be taking 4 damage, but next turn, I mean, once I fetch for my planes here, I will definitely not repeat my mistake from game 1. I'm not gonna take any risks and just gonna run the Stonehorn out. Because we would have been dead to any haste creature here off of the top. I mean, opponent is on 0 cards, so it's also possible that they brick and they cannot attack with the conscripts. But since they hit a creature, they would have been able to attack and hit us down to a pretty dangerously low life total. So I'm glad this worked out. Also, it's a little questionable that the opponent played their Denizen out, since, again, they cannot attack with the conscripts if they don't play a creature before that. So we might be able to just avoid the next combat step, which would be obviously insane. And even if they find a creature, I think we are pretty much good against anything. Even like Goblin Bushwhacker does not kill us, so we should be fairly safe here. I'm gonna kill their Denizen, trade with one of the 2/2s, brick wall 2 others, only take 4. I mean, we're in lightning bolt range, but opponent has no cards. And we can play out this mnemonic wall to get back a hydroblast, which should kind of lock up the game. So it does not matter what the opponent draws, we've got it covered. We can brick wall all of their attackers, and from then on we'll be able to chain Stonehorns, or it's probably not even necessary to play the Stonehorn out. I'd rather draw some cards at this point. And looks like opponent realizes that they got no outs from this position. Therefore, this will do it for match number 1. I will see you guys in the next one.